You have to know that Ich bin Hanna is originally a Twitter campaign that I've done with Amrei Bar and Sebastian Kuborn. It's important to know that Ich bin Hanna means I am Hanna. The question is, who is Hanna? Hanna is a character from a video that was done by the Ministry for Education, and they were trying to explain the law that gives way to hiring people on non-permanent contracts in research. Because in Germany that there's a specific law that allows researchers on non-permanent contracts for 6 years before their PhD and for another 6 years after a PhD. This is an employment situation that would not be legal in another field. This is specifically for researchers. They presented this whole situation in the video like this is a really great thing. Innovation is necessary, needs fluctuation to come through. And then they had this nice phrase where they said, one generation should not clog the system. Basically, we all just have to leave science in the end. So another generation has the great chance of experiencing that work environment and get their PhDs and other qualifications. A little bit about the situation and the way we work. The short-term contracts, sometimes people are hired only for a year or just a few months. If you're lucky, you get a 3-year contract. And that situation can last very long in your career. Most researchers, if you stay in science, will probably end up in their mid 40s and they either find a professorship, which is hard to do, or they drop out and then they have to find another job. And that's obviously very hard to do when you are that far in your career and you have never done anything else. Depending on your field, it might be harder or easier, but in general, this is just a situation that is not very good. So you have almost no permanent contracts. You have people working overtime without pay, giving up everything, leaving their families from Tuesday to Thursday because they're living in another town, because they have to commute hundreds of kilometers and so on. So this is a very bad situation. And I think it's been known in research circles for a long, long time. But it wasn't really until the pandemic, until we managed to build up over Twitter a community that actually addresses these issues. So we started with another campaign where we collected 95 theses against the law. That was a little funny thing on Reformation Day. If you're familiar with Martin Luther, he had these 95 theses. So we did a little spin on that. But the really successful thing was Ich bin Hanna, where we identified with Hanna as a character. This is a fictional character for whom everything is great. But we said we identify and we show the real people and their real struggles behind that, how you get a more realistic picture of what they looks like. That turned out quite successful. It was a good narrative for the press as well. So that's the general situation.